Hello, people, if anybody's watching. Um, Hello and welcome to the fifth episode of Rogue's Gallery Podcast, where we talk about everything D&D and TTRPG. And this week we still have the main cast. We have me, Aina, then there's Rain, there's Crit, and there's War. Um, yeah. So, each of us hold a section of the show, from news, stories, homebrews, and like a bunch of other things. And we're just here to talk about all things D&D and TTRPG. So I don't really have much else to say there. So let's just throw it to Rain with the news. Hold on. Hold on. Boom! There we go. Go for it. Okay. I think that's it. I think. Can you? Hey,
Yeah,
I'm
so-
not a pro streamer. I told you. Okay. Can you hear now? Can there the bar is there.
If the bar's
Right.
moving, then they should be hearing it.
Yeah.
The,
But yeah, point is,
But-
at the end of the day, I just woke up, half the pie was eaten, and the girl's head was missing, and I don't know.
I'm sorry.
That was a joke, because nobody heard the context of the story.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I tried making my own tabletop. That's the TLDR, and it was very good, possibly. I tested it like twice with my friends.
I know.
Both times they
That's
made
nice.
these guys with massive axes and just trivialized every combat encounter, which
Of
fair enough.
course. Yeah.
And then probably died because they had no survival skills. And I'm pretty sure I still have like the printed out PDF somewhere in my house because I kept
Oh
it as memory.
yeah, dude, that's legit.
Hey, if you have that, you can scan it and then put into a PDF and we can share it out.
I hear you, but I don't think I should.
Aw. Just put a
I was like-
disclaimer. This is done by 12-year-old me or something.
Yeah, maybe. I think I was like 16, more
There
along
you
that
go.
line.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was 10 years ago. So I want to say I got better at stuff since, hopefully, and maybe I should try it again. Who knows?
Hey, so since I effed up, can you give us a TLDR of what the main news is about, Rain?
Right, sorry again. The main news is about the Cypher system. If you guys don't know, this is another type of tabletop RPG. There's Dungeons and Dragons, there's Pathfinder, there's Fate, Open RPG, and Cypher RPG is one of the I wouldn't say more famous one, but I know about it. So, yeah. And
There's
basically these
also-
guys are releasing their own kind of like Cypher system open license to basically allow people to make branch off of their games. Basically, it's kind of like how Pathfinder branched out from Dungeons and Dragons 3.5. Same thing with this one. They've basically opened up an open license so anybody can kind of create materials from their stuff, and also a system reference document if they want to refer rules or something like that. The 3 games that was created for this particular one, announced during the Origins Game Fair 2022, is the Mystery Flesh Pit National Park RPG.
This
The
thing
GM
that looks like a belly button.
Yeah, apparently that one's kind of like a horror-ish kind of campaign. GM Roulette, which is basically an RPG where they want no prep. Everybody gets to be the GM and all about improvisation. I have no idea how that game would go, but yep. And finally, Blood and Crow, which is basically Shadowrun for Cypher.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then we talked
might
about
actually check
Crit
that out.
making his game and everything. So yeah, that's nice.
What about you?
Unrelated note.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I just to someone listening to this as like a part of a backlog once we make it really big, if you know any like good zombie survival tabletops systems, I mean, that are actually good.
Like zombies specific, not like a general system.
Yeah. Like, do send recommendations, because I got nothing, and all of my tabletop RPG friends also got nothing. So
There's a lot of fantasy, but not. I mean, there are kind of like the indie ones that does for very specific things, but no big ones. Yeah.
Either way, yeah.
Beyond that, other news that we have going on this week is I kind of came upon this article that talks about the node system. If you recall, last week we talked about Level Up Advanced 5e, a really big branch off from the Dungeons and Dragons 5e. They have their like this node system where it helps you to create your dungeon very easily. The node stands for novelties, obstacles, discoveries, escalation, and set pieces. They're kind of like 5 things that you should add to your dungeon to make it a little bit more variety and also have what you call have engaging content for combat players, for role players, and also for exploratory players. So yeah.
Also,
Next.
it's escalations, not escalations. You read it wrong.
What?
No, I'm kidding. It's a typo.
That's a typo in the article. Hey, Bell of Lost Souls, typo. Fix it. Another thing is, Paizo, the creator of Pathfinder, they have released the new adventure path called the Blood Lords. Apparently, it is. I think it's like a vampire thing. One sec. Yeah,
The name
is it-
Blood is
yeah. The Ghost King Geb rules a nation where living and undead work uneasily side by side. So yeah, it's about kind of like necromancy, and your character become blood lords and kind of like rule this kind of like large area, so to speak. So yeah, this new adventure path fight come out, and they have kind of like a guide on how for you to create character that perfectly fits this particular adventure path. That's cool. Next, the Critical Role producer, the one that made a texting RPG, that RPG, I think it's called Alice, something Alice.
Alice
something.
is missing.
Alice is missing. It's being turned into a movie. So yeah, that sounds cool. I've never heard of the RPG myself. But
It's a texting TTRPG, so you play it all via text, and it's only within 90 minutes.
well, there you go.
And everybody takes like a role in like Alice's life, and everybody just try to like gives information while also keeping a secret agenda of theirs, you know. It's a pretty cool thing.
Cool.
It's less of a TTRPG than it's more of a
Role playing.
just a tabletop game.
I mean, you're role playing as someone's, I don't know, dad or someone's boyfriend or girlfriend, you know.
See, but it's one of those things where like if a guy creates like an indie system, it's always like a very specific thing. I recall correctly, like there's a TTRPG specifically about sending messages to your lovers via flying pigeons or something like that. Like that's the very specific system that it's built for. So hey. And finally, one more rule is that Pathfinder also is releasing their rule 4 update. So Pathfinder, like a D&D, they have kind of like a regular system, the erratas basically in D&D. So we have the rule updates for Pathfinder Society, and yeah, there's just more stuff that they are updating. I haven't read through like every single changes, but just something for people out there should know. So yeah, that's everything for news this week. A little bit of a slow week, but yeah.
Slow. There's still a lot. Honestly,
We can all be.
Slower than last week, I feel.
I guess so. Yeah. Last week we had that sponsorship news, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think so. I think that was the main. Was it not? Anyway. Anyway, let's bring the mood down with our.
Oh no.
Bring the mood down.
So a little context. We have a whole sheet where we put in all our submissions for an episode, and we're not supposed to read each other's materials, but somebody decided to read the title of the story for today, and they were like, no.
Somebody was looking for their own submission to open it before the thing, and their title was very long, and then he wanted to make sure that, you know, it was not their thing that they were opening, or rather not someone else's thing that they were opening, and then clicked, look at it, it's even the same amount of lines and everything. So I looked at it, 4 lines, hypothetically, maybe it wasn't me, who knows, but yeah. Anyway,
And then
please
the
read.
reactions just I know.
Anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so today from r/D&D by Gemma the Mando, our DM, my husband, passed away and they're considering scrapping his game, the one he worked years on, and I need to vent. So strap on. It's sad, but the OP wrote it more like they're furious rather than sad, you know. So the OP starts it with, I don't use Reddit often, and I'm sorry if it comes out as a strange post. I need to vent to people who can actually understand D&D. So my husband started playing D&D in the 80s, second edition. He was a long time playing who knew how to play and make a game fun with his knowledge. He stopped playing for a long time, and after his brother's kids turned 16, we all started playing as a family 5 years ago. So we don't play every week, but often enough to stay engaged. My husband worked tirelessly on hand-drawn maps, customized missions and quests, items, and put a lot of energy into it. His games were organized and harmonious. He spent a lot of time reading books and online to perfect his campaign. We had fun, we laughed, and it was easy to visualize what we were doing. So during our game, our nephew, 16 at the time, took over as DM with my husband as a mentor for a few times to get the feel of things. His game wasn't perfect, but his efforts were appreciated. His main issue, however, is he doesn't know the rules and wings it 90% of the time. He also doesn't listen to everyone's choice, just accept the first answer he hears and continue his campaign regardless of what the group wants or what other players wants to do. His father being the loudest, so the game is 90% led by his dad, my husband's younger brother. So basically, the nephew was like kind of trying to take over the mantle from the OP's husband, and it's always backed by OP's husband's younger brother. So an example of how the game will go, like DM will say, so you're entering the castle and a person welcomes you. The OP's brother-in-law, I stab him. Another player, well, no, I think we should talk to him first. Then the nephew, well, my dad already stabbed him and he's dead. Like, wait, what? So like he just goes to basically the first thing anybody says without like considering if the party wants to like discuss with each other first. So my husband believed in everyone having a voice in the game, not just one person, and considered everyone's possible move. My husband and our DM died 8 months ago. It was sudden, no warning, a shock to everyone in the family, and for me, it's the most difficult time in my life, if still. After the funeral, we took a break from playing, but then we resumed playing in his honor. My nephew, now 20, as our new DM. So same campaign, but way less organized and a lot more chaotic. We had a few meetings regarding our issues to readjust. I voiced what my husband would have wanted for the game as we discussed it out of character at home. So they listened, but our nephew pretty much blaming us for not speaking up more being the cause of the chaos. When we explained that we need at least 2 seconds to consider our action and that by the time we had an idea, the father had already spoken and the final decision made, our nephew just told us we had to think faster than his dad if he wanted our choice to be picked. We played yesterday and it was chaotic, not enjoyable. After the game, my nephew complained that we argue too much and he doesn't want to DM anymore. Like, yeah, we argue because we want to play too, but you don't hear us. So he left the house angry. Then 2 hours later, in our D&D family group chat, I read that he talked to his dad, only him, and they decided to start a new campaign to make things easier for everyone and give us a chance to relearn our character because we're bad players. So they want to scrap all the hard work my husband put in his game and completely shit on his legacy as a DM. We literally just got to level 10 after playing so long. We're comfortable with our characters. They're fun to play now that we can do more damage and are more versatile as well. I'm so furious. Last night before sleeping, I talked to my husband out loud in case Ghost can actually hear us. How upset I was with his family. I seriously don't understand how they can just shoo aside all his work when our issues could be fixed by solving our communication problem. problems. Like, I saw him stay up all night to draw maps and read and work on puzzles from scratch, all for his work to go bye-bye like that. It's unthinkable to me. Anyway, thanks for listening.
Jesus H. Christ.
What? What about...
Nothing, Nina, nothing.
What?
Just
No, give
just
your...
the story, really.
This is just like bad DM case syndrome. This is like, oh, this is how DMing should be, and they don't know otherwise.
They don't want to know otherwise by the sounds
Yeah.
of it. Like, the people told him that's not the way that they want to play it, but he seems to just ignore it and blame other people rather than trying to, you know what, maybe you're right, let's try a different way for now.
Yeah. And like honestly, it's like I think I'm not sure about the rest of the family though. I mean, one thing, it's actually great that a family plays D&D together. Like here, I can't even imagine it. But it also feels like the nephew only wants to play with his dad, and they only want to play with each other, which is why they decided to start a new campaign, I think, which kind of makes sense, to be honest. But here's the part that I'm not too sure whether or not like just the two of them, the nephew and his dad, left, or did they take the whole group away as well?
Have not started a new campaign. He's just suggesting to start a new campaign, and that's why she's pissed.
No, they decided to start a new campaign.
Yeah, exactly. They have not started it yet.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But still, like, I guess this part is really sad. Not sad. Like, I feel like this is something I would do if, let's say, my husband died and I'm so pissed off. I would do this as well. Like, dude, I know you're out there, listen to me, kind of thing. But yeah, it's just it's a bit sad because it feels like OP was the only one who really wanted to kind of immemorialize. Is that the right word? I'm not sure. Crit would
Immortalize would be better.
immortalize. I guess so, but yeah, at least kind of play the campaign to the end. Although, like, yeah, it's just sad that the nephew is just doesn't like not I guess like another way to look at it is OP is kind of expecting the nephew to be a better DM, but the nephew just want to DM his own way, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's a kid.
He's 20.
Well,
Kid.
Like,
he's a kid.
still a kid.
I'm
Sorry,
just
War,
a year
but-
younger than him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're a kid too. Simple as. I'm kidding. Obviously, not a kid, but he's young.
Yeah.
And
Like me first DMing is like very different compared to now, and I feel like he still has room to grow. He just doesn't see it yet.
Or he
Exactly.
yeah.
my DMing career between like the ages of 16 and 20 is a big black hole, and if Rylak is in this chat right now, he can confirm that it was weird and bullshit. But yeah, I feel kind of bad for the kid, among other things, because obviously his father has influence over him, and I also feel bad for OP because it's her husband's legacy, and looking at this really scares me about dying because,
Aw.
like, you know, my campaign's gonna be out there one day when I die, and I'm not gonna be
God,
able
yeah.
yeah, tackle that.
I need to write down at least the outline of the campaign so that, you know, if I die, people can continue it if they want to, you know.
Yeah.
I'll take over if something happens. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
Albert said, "Don't worry, Crit. I'll handle your campaign good and hard." Is that an ease
Albert,
to you?
Albert, I would not let you touch my campaign.
Just
I
a
just
little.
introduce a bunch of fucking kobolds into the campaign, I bet.
I don't know if I can run Rain's campaign though. I'll be honest. I don't think I can.
I believe in you.
No!
Okay, believe in me that believes in you.
Stop
Anyway, that's the
it! That's
Believe in me, they believe in you.
Anyway, the OP. So some people mentioned like you could another way for OP to immortalize her husband's legacy is by consider publishing them online if they keep copies of notes and maps. So the OP says I strangely collected them after we used them. My husband was like, why do you want to keep it? We won't use it anymore. But like a proud wife, I took them and put them all in a folder, which I think is very sweet. Which I feel like
It
I
is
would
very
too.
sweet.
Like,
Can we find these files somewhere?
what do you mean? The
Well, I don't know.
file?
I mean, don't want to let it go to waste, right?
That's true. Let's see. I don't think the OP mentioned anything anymore.
I don't think you uploaded anything yet.
Yeah, it's a bit long.
Can you
But
link
yeah,
it? I can bookmark it and come back to it later or something?
that's
Possibly,
true.
Yeah.
But you see that URL, Adventures of Galder? Apparently, it's a subreddit
Oh.
dedicated for GMs that passed away and like they want to continue, to remember
Okay.
TTRPG players who has passed away.
I have no idea why this thread is not continuing. Hold on.
It's so tragic. dude.
I totally use Reddit often, guys. I don't know what's going on.
No, you not knowing how to use Reddit makes you cooler, don't worry.
Really? I don't. It's
Yes.
gonna make me old.
No, it makes
What?
you cool
No,
and
it
not a
makes you-
Reddit
Oh,
nerd.
there you go. Whew.
By the
There's-
crevices of
I figured
Reddit.
it out. This is
No,
some
it still does not open. Yeah, this one.
Our Adventures of Galder.
Yeah, read the description actually.
Let's see. Originally in commemoration of user Some Hairy Guy, a D&D player who passed away from cancer. So we all came together to remember him as Galder the Conjurer. And now Adventures of Galder has expanded to remember any TTRPG player who has passed away. In this sub, you will find deceased players whom we all remember together by incorporating their characters and any other creations to adventures and backstories through all RPG worlds, homebrewed or official. Aww. I hope
That's
OP
very nice.
posts here somewhere.
Yeah.
If you guys have time, you want to go through all of this. Oh, they even have like deceased players. You could see if Gemma the Mendo made any submissions here. But yeah.
I'll be keeping an eye out.
War, you wanted to say something?
No.
No, okay.
No.
Alright.
I want to keep an eye out, but it scares me because right now in my campaign we had 2 players leave, right? As well as
Yeah.
like players change their characters and whatnot. And we had a profoundly tragic moment recently where like the party's paladin, who is the only remaining party member from the original group, turned around and was like, "Oh, you guys remember when we were at the desert?" And all the other characters were new characters. And she was like, "Oh, fuck." And it was so sad because she was the only one who remembered and survived. Everyone
Aw.
else was like either out or dead. And
I can
Kinda like
imagine.
that, I
I
guess.
can already imagine shitty TikTok being made out of that.
Yeah.
Hey guys, remember we went to the desert and sad music begins playing and like no other players and then flashback to the old party and then like
Yeah.
the paladin in a nursing home.
Oh god.
We had that moment in like some of our campaigns. Like I think Skiller Rogues the first one also because so many people changed their characters, so many left and come, and we had the same thing happen with like August the 12 as well because like there at least that one we still have the original 3 players, 3 characters, so it doesn't feel too alone, you know?
because the campaign started with like 7 players
Yeah.
and now there's 3 plus 1 you crit.
Yeah.
So yeah, GG.
But yeah.
Scary stuff.
Just another added thing before we close the story. So some people also mentioned like why don't the OP try DMing the campaign themselves? So she said she has considered it, but she doesn't even know how to do it in a way that can honor him. Because like how do you even learn how to DM? You know, like she doesn't know how to start DMing without him there helping, and like I can totally relate. It's just damn.
The best advice to how to learn how to DM is just do it. Literally, just
Yep.
do it.
Yeah.
Yep. Trial by fire, guys. Like you always ask, like, what book should I read? What video should I watch? Do it.
It's
One
not
or
even
two
trial by
players.
fire.
I mean,
Because fire can burn you. The worst thing that can happen out of a bad session is everybody going like, "Oh well, you're a new DM, so whatever," and that's the end of it.
yeah.
Everybody
Unless you
will
end up
be
on-
understanding. Yeah. Just
Unless you end up on a
do
subreddit
it.
somewhere, but just don't be weird. That's it.
I
Let's
think-
avoid.
I think the OP is just feeling like there's a big shoes to fill, you know.
That's
Like,
true.
yeah.
I can imagine. I can imagine them feeling that way.
Well, anyway, let's close this chapter. Maybe go to something a bit more hardy, right? Right, crit. Oh, sorry, not crit. War.
It's fun, right? More fun, right?
Fun,
Right?
right?
Fun.
Right.
Fun.
Right.
This is. We'll have a dandy time now.
Okay.
In
I like it already.
In a similar fashion of remembrance and God, I'm failing words again. God damn it.
Slowly.
Nostalgia? Yes,
There
in
you go.
familiar fashion of remembrance and nostalgia, we have a grand homebrew item for today that will hopefully lighten everyone's mood. Called Grandma's Bowler, a wondrous uncommon item, found in the Unearthed Arcana subreddit, posted by R. Vinor. Check it out. He has two more others homebrew items that have custom art and also translated in another language. I believe I forgot.
Is this Greek crit or is it Russia? Or I'm not too sure.
Ah.
I'm sorry.
Don't be racist. Let me see. Let me
I'm
see.
sure. That's why I'm asking. Is
I
it
think that's
Greek or
Russian,
is
right?
it-
That's Russian, right?
Yeah, that
Okay.
would be definitely one of the Slavic ones. It's kind of
Okay.
blurry because I'm not watching high definition,
there
so I
is
can
a
have
font.
stable connection.
There is a
But
font.
that is
I-
Cyrillic, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's just the language. There is a
Cyrillic.
weird font with the language. So yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it is Cyrillic. What language it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Albert says it's Russian.
But
check it out.
Let's
Oh, Russian. Oh, there you go. Thanks,
Ah,
Albert.
There you go.
Alright, thank you very much.
But let's
Uh,
focus on the one that we can actually read.
Yeah,
So
I can
sorry.
read the Russian.
Oh,
come on.
yeah, but I can. And like 3 out of 4 people in this table can.
Well, Albert and I will get it, and that's
While
what
you
it
do
is.
the English one, I want to hear Quinn do the Russian one.
Oh,
I will
oh.
not.
Okay. Custom
Nope.
art made by credit below Black Links Zalier
Lair.
Like Slayer.
Black Link
Oh.
Player, man.
Here, I have a bigger one here.
Black. Oh, I can't read.
Black
Man.
Link.
Links
Layer.
Layer. Yeah.
I genuinely need to check myself if I'm dyslexic or not.
Dyslexic.
Oh god. What is a dyslexic?
No.
Okay, let's not get into it. Anyway.
Don't Google it.
I am tempted. 1 second. Go on.
Anyway, Grandma's Bowler is a bowler that suits both an old lady or a trendy dandy individual, and it always smells of freshly cooked meat soup. So effectively, it's an apparel item, as wondrous items are most, and it's. I feel like we can like sum it up. We can make it look like whatever we want in terms of like how it fits the campaign theme, but then yeah, this is what the main item is. And the effect of this wondrous item is that whenever you flip the bowler open and say a magic command phrase, a wonderful meal is prepared on the bowler hat, and it's able to fill 5 persons of 5 fulfill the hunger of 5 persons, and it's a one-time use once per use charge.
For the item.
God, why am I
That's a simple item. That's
Yeah.
pretty good. I can already
very-
imagine like a crazy wizard type character, you know, flipping the hat and like starts eating food from the from the hat just with his hand, you know. Like,
Too
how the
lazy
hell
to
did-
cook anything. Doing research. It's like the equivalent of takeout.
Yeah.
I got a better one. Imagine you pull up to someone and you want to be charming, like, oh well, my name is whatever, and like tip your hat, and as you tip your hat, just beans start to fall out.
Well, the food in question is based on the memory of the most nostalgic memory of the user who activated it. So the food can be anything. It just has to be nostalgic to the user.
I'm just imagining the ones that have like cereal in there, just dry cereal, no milk, just cereal.
Oh,
Why?
Why?
Nice.
Why not?
But it doesn't say if like it will tip over once you wear it. Like, does it say that?
Oh no! The food magically comes
Appears?
out once you say the magic word.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
more
And then-
sense.
And
I
then
mean, who knows?
feel-
Maybe the magic word's milady, so like he does milady.
Oh no!
Stop!
That's what I was thinking. Like,
Spaghetti falls out of the hat. Yeah.
yeah, like you
Sorry,
just.
that's my dead grandma's. My apologies.
Oh. Or you
She
forgot.
gave it to me because I was her favorite grandson. Of course, I'm a very nice guy.
This never happens, So it's the first time.
Oh my god, guys.
Guys, I'm physically cringing. Right?
Can we derail this any harder?
Yeah. So magic hat, free flavored apparel item, whatever you want. If I had this item, I would have made this my top hat. And
Yeah.
yeah, this would have been nice, like such hearty stew for some like a meal on the go. So yeah, something very light and simple for this week. We'll catch up with some big subclasses next week.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. So yeah, that's all for homebrews for this week.
Very sure. Okay.
That's closing thoughts.
Sure.
Yeah.
I do have a very similar item to this in my campaign, by the way.
Which
Ooh.
is
It's a saucepan. You can use it as a melee weapon, and it deals 1d6 bludgeoning. You can also put it on your hat, on your head as a hat, and it's a +1 to your AC. And you can also use it for cooking, and if you put it over a fire and fill it with like any kind of organic matter, it will be edible inexplicably.
regardless. Oh wow.
Yeah, just need water and organic material, and you'll make something out of it. And my party has been eating nothing but dirt soup for about 3 weeks in game.
Oh,
Because technically dirt is organic. Assholes.
Albert asks, what about the mimic axe? Didn't that have a hidden ability where it can produce food?
Produce food? Well, the wielder was the food, so if you want to look at it that way.
The
But
mimic
unfortunately,
axe?
I gave the party's fighter a mimic axe, but it never fucking sprung into effect because the guy switched characters, unfortunately. But the axe is still out there. The axe is still out there because it got stolen from him, like in character when he switched. It's gonna come back one day. You'll see when you least expect it.
But also,
The mimic X always returns.
this ability also reminds me of like one of your races that can do the sunlight skiff with the Wartel.
Oh yeah. The
Doesn't it-
Wartel can
Yeah, but
produce
I think it's
food.
like 5 people. I think it's like 1 person.
It's 1d4 fruits. It's kinda like Goodberry. But yeah, it's 1d4 fruits. And yeah, once you eat it, it's basically filling food for 1 day.
I see.
It's a really good fruit. And heals you by 1 hit point. Because why not?
Sheesh. 1 hit point.
I know, crazy, right?
So
Can
generous.
can actually heal you from a stab wound. That one.
Question.
Yeah.
What's your take on Goodberry being used as like an emergency revive button? Because it heals you for
Oh,
1.
that
Can you
is
force
true.
feed people? Do you not know that?
Yeah, I never considered it, but I would allow it. Like,
The-
go ahead.
The
We've
thing
been
is,
doing that since 3.5.
The thing is, we always use Goodberry just for when we need food, not really for healing. So that's like.
Yeah, yeah. That's a cool emergency revive. It's like it requires an action, but
Yeah.
basically it allows everybody to have a better version of Spare the Dying. I got them.
Well, not even Spare the Dying. It bumps you up to 1 and revives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But
So a
they
better
need
version
to-
of
Spare the
Spare the Dying.
dying makes you stable. Spare the dying makes you stable.
Yeah, exactly. A better one. It's
I
a
bet
group that is
them
very
because they
better.
just straight away go up, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, go ahead
Block,
if you want.
attack.
If you wanna. I mean, you've always wasted a spell slot just to keep the party fed. So I think it's fine.
Good.
Go ahead, use it. And if you have a druid in your party and you want to waste a spell slot for it, then you have essentially 10 stockpiles with that.
Yeah, or
Yep.
if you want to traumatize your party by just feeding them exclusively berries that are spicy when you're like traversing a cold desert, it's great.
I mean, it helps, right? It's a good thing.
Yeah, but then you'll hear
Don't stop complaining.
you'll hear the party goes like berries again. No. Anyway, so quick intervention before we go to the final section with Crit. We made a game. It's called Jamie and the Warrior Princess for a game jam. It's by Skiller Rogues Digital. So we now have a game subsidiary, even though like nothing is official. We just like to use this name for everything. So hey, if you guys like to play games and this is a shooter game, so you see you go pew to people and like give it a look. Okay, very fast. So let's throw it back to before that, this is all drawn by Rain. You'll see a familiar art style to our avatars.
Yeah, a little bit less refinement because I had to draw it within like 1 day or something for all the art. So
Yeah.
it is a Vampire Survivor's clone, yes. A little bit more extra because instead of just grabbing items on the field, you have to actually you can pick what weapon you want, but you have to manage the power of the item. That's the whole thing, the theme about this game jam, which is power in numbers. So you gotta power up those abilities yourself.
And Kurt was just complaining to me about the game beforehand, but we'll talk about that
I
off
really was.
session.
Oh,
Maybe
no.
you guys can also play it and review it. And going and talking shit to Rain.
Yeah,
in
go
numbers.
ahead. Put in the comments and let me know. I'm sorry, it's not good.
Anyway, if anyone wants to play, I put the link in the chat, and if this is on backlog, you'll also see the link in description. Okay, so back to main content. Crit, let's go. Let's just wrap it all up with a bow and great things. Let's go.
Yes. So, today's story comes from user Knight9910, and it was posted on RPG Glory Stories, which is where I get most of our content. And today's story is kind of short, but it invites both dungeon masters and players to retell similar stories and share experiences, which is kind of why I picked it. So, the title is Evil Party Decides to Be Good One Time and is Rewarded. One of my proudest moments as a dungeon master. So, in one of my games, 3.5 if you care, my players visited a magical vault created by an eccentric wizard to guard some ancient artifact. All of the enemies were magic artificial life forms created to guard the place, and 4 bosses, each of which were based on one of the 4 elements. The boss of the water dungeon was a giant squid man, who I decided to play super melancholy, being the only monster in the dungeon smart enough to realize that he's not real, and exists for no other purpose than to be eventually killed by some
Aww.
adventurer. Serious existential shit here.
Damn.
I know, right? So, the party decided to take a pity on him and tried to give him some sort of an afterlife. The only way they could think to do so was for the incubus in the party to energy drain him to death, which would presumably send his essence to the abyss, where he would become a demon. Or at least the incubus rolled high enough diplomacy to convince the boss that's how it would work. And he lets him kill him without a fight in hopes of getting a life after death.
Oh wow.
And
Dang.
that's where the cool part starts.
That's really smart.
Fast forward about a year or so of game, and the party has either forgotten about the monster or assumed it was a one-off thing that would never come up again. The party was now taking a ship to another dungeon, and they get attacked by a pirate queen. Her Sahugin, is that the pronunciation? I think it is.
Tahwagin, yeah, I think so.
Sahwagin. Minions and her pet sea monster. A few bad rolls, and the party is quickly in over their heads. Our necromancer is in the sea monster's mouth and will be fish food next turn, while its tail is smashing down the incubus to keep him from saving the guy. And the hexblade is sworn by Sahagin. It's not going very well. That's when the tentacles burst out from water, grab the sea monster, and drag it down. The party starts freaking out about how they have to deal with this thing now.
Yeah.
Then they hear its voice in their heads, telling them that the plan actually worked, and the panic freakout becomes a joy freakout instead.
Aww.
Always love it when I can pull something like this off.
Yeah, definitely.
Callbacks are always great.
That's so
Especially-
nice of them, though.
Especially if it's, an evil campaign, right?
Yeah.
And they do the one good thing and it comes back, where it makes
Yeah.
men reconsider if they should continue being evil after that.
yeah. That's good though. I don't think we have anything like this, right, Anna? Am I wrong?
No, we usually get instant gratification. like we saved that old man in the dungeon, and then turns out he's a high ranking sorcerer. We found that out immediately after, so
Yeah. I mean, most of the time it's I don't know. That's usually, to me at least, if this thing happens in my campaign, it's because accidentally remember, oh wait, that thing, I can put this here, right? Might as well.
Yeah, like the evil one.
Yeah. So usually if that happens with me, most probably that is the case. I'm trying to remember if there are any long time callbacks or anything, but the only thing is the one that I really planned, which is the whole false Hydra reveal.
yeah, that one was the one that was like, whoa, what is this Deus Ex Machina that keeps happening to us? So
Yeah, so this whole time you guys have 5 other party members helping you guys that you don't
Yeah,
remember
and no,
anymore.
we don't, and we're gonna die.
Nah, we'll be fine. You guys have Artyom now.
Wow.
Bro.
Well, not now, not this session. Next time.
Wow.
Have fun with dungeon boss thing. I'll be there in spirit.
Damn.
We shall see.
How
But yeah.
cool. Alright,
I mean,
so
in my campaign, I like to do the opposite of what happened here.
Oh.
And, because the party is good, if they do something evil, I have to bite them on the ass later.
Ah,
It's
okay.
kind of my
Yeah,
favorite
yeah,
thing
yeah.
to do, really.
Yeah, yeah.
But, I don't know, again, if Rylak is in the chat, prayer emoji, he does that thing where it's like, oh, remember that peasant you said fuck off when he asked you for something, 17 sessions ago? Well, that peasant has been in the background of the campaign,
This whole
amassing
time.
ways to fuck with you, and now he's back and he has an army of peasants, and you're fucked. So that's almost how I lost my level 8 ranger there. Chris.
I
But
feel
yeah.
like it's more
That
likely.
happens more.
I feel like it's more likely for the player to turn their tail, to do this to the dungeon master than hey, remember that NPC we helped years ago? We're gonna go and ask for their help now. And the DM will be like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I put that in there.
Yeah. That I'm imagining that's the case here as well. I don't think he remember. It's only at that time shit, the party's dying. What should I do? That we could do that. Oh, it'd be so cool. And you just tell the story and everything.
I have something like that for my campaign when I'm doing prep. Usually, I outline the story of what will happen in the session, and then I look through the entire list of NPCs in my campaign.
Mm-hmm.
and kind of see if it makes sense for any of them to be involved in this. Instead of creating new ones, I bring back old ones who might be in that place or
Yeah,
that
definitely,
fit the
definitely.
narrative purpose. And the party always likes to see like a character they haven't seen since level 3 just randomly show up and be like drunk in a tavern ranting about wanting to fight ice trolls. It's always nice.
Yeah, fair.
I love throwbacks to like anything that I've done back like way first level. It's like, oh man, I remember you were there when I was like level 1. It was great. Now I'm like level 16 and you're still here. It's great.
And I do the same with my 2 groups, because it's 2 groups at the same time in the same world. And I have people reference the other group and their actions sometimes, echo around the world. And that's always very, very fun as well when they get the reference.
Yeah.
It's like there was these 5 weirdos and a goat. Oh, that's dumb luck, right?
5 weirdos and a goat.
Yeah. So before we end, I think we have time for one more discussion. So I found this in r/D&D, and I've been thinking about it for weeks, and I don't understand what is going on. So maybe like fellow DMs can like give me what am I missing here, because basically the post is just about my player quoted, "I don't like sand. It's coarse, rough, and gets everywhere. What should I do? Ban?" And the description just says, after fighting a juiced up air elemental and getting dusted around the sandy arena, he walked to the center and said this: "I don't like sand. It's coarse, rough, and gets everywhere." Well, what do? I already have horrible things planned for his character's family due to plot, so that's off the table. Anything else?
So,
what does this
He
mean?
can be banned for
hands up if nobody understands the reference.
I understand that
no.
reference, but I don't understand what it's trying to imply here.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't understand.
Listen.
Okay,
I understand. The
Yeah.
player deserves nothing less than death, not characters.
What? What is going on?
For getting the quote wrong. It's coarse, it's rough, and irritating. And it gets
And it gets
Idiot.
everywhere. There's irritating.
Wait, this is not the original quote? This
No,
is the
no,
only
no.
one I've known.
No, the
that's
quote,
a little
the
bit-
full,
a little bit
the
more.
quote, the full quote is, "I don't
Coarse,
like
rough, and
sand.
irritating.
It's coarse, it's rough, and it's irritating. It gets everywhere." Exactly how he said it. in episode
Basically,
2.
basically, the GM doesn't want to accidentally create Darth Vader after murdering his whole family.
Okay, I don't
Wait,
watch
now
Star
that makes
Wars,
sense.
so I have no idea. Because I've been
You never
looking-
watched Star Wars?
I don't like space. Anything about space
I know,
terrifies me to death.
I know,
like
the
the
only people who
water.
haven't seen Star Wars are the characters from Star Wars, and that's because they lived through Star Wars. Come on.
Wow. Yeah, I don't
That's
exist.
also a reference, by the way. That was How I Met Your Mother.
But I think the GM just doesn't want to accidentally create a Darth Vader and change his campaign to an evil campaign.
I see. Oh my god. Dude, I've been like thinking about it, and I keep coming back to this post and just see if anybody wants to explain, and I say nothing. Like this makes
what you're
sense.
saying is we can drop prequel memes around you and you just straight up won't get it.
Yeah.
That gives us power.
We'll wait till she's the GM and we start dropping all the prequel memes.
Yo.
Let's go.
Next
We use it as secret
Great
code.
of your reference.
Next campaign, Aina, come on. Aina, campaign?
Prequel meme quotes.
Campaign, Aina, campaign.
Yes. I told you we're gonna make a campaign for the wedding present. Anyway, that's it for today's episode. I hope everybody had fun. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Although Crit won't be here, I hope Crit fans won't be too sad. He said he'll try to make it, but let's not bring him out of his vacation, because like it's a vacation, dude. Go and
Yeah,
vacate.
exactly.
Man, I'll be in
Vacate.
Hungary. I need to get away from there mentally, at least for an hour.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, like I said, I'll try to make it. I probably will have time because it's like a 7-day vacation and it's 1 hour out of it in the midday. So, but we'll see.
Albert, so what you're saying is next week will be an upgrade.
Next week there will be fewer viewers because I won't have my goons arrived, and also I won't be there. So.
Well, we're planning.
I gotta be there.
We're planning to get a guest character, one of our other friends to like fill in for Crit while he's gone, but we'll see how it is next week. So yeah, anyway, in the meantime, while we wait for what's going to happen next week, you just have to stay tuned to see if Crit's gonna be here or not, and if we'll have a guest or not.
Sure.
But in the meantime, stay safe and feel free to enjoy your healthy dose of D&D memes on your way out.
And also enjoy weird rain noises.
Rain noises?
Yeah.